sitting there, like, in front of this fucking sensor being like, Rasusaka Nokta. Just fucking try and cast this fucking spell. Nope, that's a 2. It's gonna be a 4 total.
Wes is gonna take a more hands-on approach with this roundabout and aid you, so you have advantage.
Okay, cool. So it's like Ghost.
Yeah, she's gonna get him behind you, and he's gonna guide your hands.
Oh my.
Roll for chemistry.
Alright, that first... is this a separate roll with Wes's help?
No, this is your advantage.
Okay, cool. That's 6.
Good job.
Well, he got you back to the understanding that you started with.
And then for chemistry, that's... So, Wes and I are in love.
It's a nat 20.
It's a good old nat 20.
Can I roll for ship survivability?
I guess Dag's
Yeah,
just...
give me a survival. No.
I guess Dag's just really into that Venom snake look.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a 9 or a 6.
Y'all are just
The
real
line
good
underneath
friends.
it.
There's a dot.
The dot denotes the bottom.
Oh, okay. Then it's a 9.
The dot denotes the bottom.
That makes 11.
11 for ship survival.
11 for the ship.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Anyway, I like look over to Wes and say, okay, A, we're not getting anywhere, and B, I'm gonna go walk around and cool off. I'll be back in like an hour.
I need to take a cold shower for some reason.
I need to
I'll
take a
be in
shower
my-
so I can't tell that I'm crying.
I'll be in my bunk. No.
This is the true romance arc.
Does that make him Christian Slater?
I mean, are you guys going to go to 7-Eleven afterwards?
Yeah, he's gonna take me to the comic shop. We're gonna watch Kung Fu movies. Yeah, just one more Arcana check today.
So at this point, it's nearing lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get back to this, so you figured you'd give it one final shot before the dining car starts to fill up a bit more with all the rich people coming in for their brunch. With advantage because you're being aided.
10, 12.
And you get really close this time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if it's the fact that it's like a placebo effect, that you want to think that it's working, or that it's a lot better than it was before. But after clearing your head, both of frustration and of the frustration,
It's getting bigger. Bang, bang, bang. Pull my devil trigger.
okay.
Oh no.
You return back to the setup. Wes has kind of cleared everything, cleaned it, reorganized everything. And you sit down, and without really much instruction, you're able to get through the first I'd say 80% of it or so. You're able to draw out the runes around it, get everything set up, add the stuff in the correct ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still that pronunciation of the draconic portions of the spell that really are getting you in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But you only had a couple corrections, and it was just in the pronunciation portion. All the other parts, the hand gestures, adding the material, writing out the runes in the correct pattern and sequence, was all correct, almost flawless. It was just the fact that you don't know draconic is really biting you in the ass. And as you kind of are finishing this last attempt, you notice a presence kind of looking over your shoulder. And it's not Wes, because Wes is sitting next to you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of turn and then look up over your shoulder, you see a very extravagantly dressed individual.
Is he prettier than me?
I wouldn't say pretty, he's extravagantly dressed.
Is he more fabulous than me?
Fabulous? Maybe.
All right, I stab him.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Hey, let him finish the explanation first.
And you see an individual who is wearing what basically looks like a beanie with some crazy hair coming out, a robe that could best be described as if someone took a trench coat and a bathrobe and combined them together, because it's literally just a bathrobe underneath a trench coat. He's got what appears to be almost like a 3/4 silk-ish shirt on underneath, a pair of very fluffy travel shoes, slippers, if you will. Well, that was quite the attempt there, wasn't it?
Oh no.
What 90s rave did this motherfucker step out of? And where did I go? Where does this train go?
I need an adult. Oh, fuck, I am an
I need
adult.
more booze.
Hi, yeah.
I see you are attempting to practice the arcane arts, are you not?
Okay, keep a straight face.
Yeah. I can do some stuff, like I do thaumaturgy to make like a glass of water on another table shake.
Oh, I see the problem here. See, you are trying to channel your divine power into this arcane spell, and it's a big no-no in the magical world.
Oh,
I
no.
have divine power?
Oh, you see, the thaumaturgy, it's kind of like the god's gift to the people who can't actually memorize prestidigitation. As he...
I'm sorry? The fuck?
Well, that sounds exactly like you.
However, the gods have also gifted some particular individuals, such as myself, the ability to master the arcane arts. As he does, basically just showers of sparks and whatnot in a big, very extravagant and flamboyant display. And all the other passengers are like, and kind of give him that look.
Damn.
Are you a showman?
Well, I particularly fancy myself more as a magical artist.
Do you entertain with your spells?
Entertain myself.
Okay.
Well, if you would be willing to help me, I would be more than happy.
Oh, I would love to impart some wisdom onto the younger generations.
Oh, I don't need any wisdom. I've been told that I'm very, very wise.
I had to stop him from jumping into the sea a few months ago.
There was a storm
I
going
see
on.
that they liked you.
You were gonna jump off a cliff!
Yes.
At any rate, I'm going to have some wonderful lunch, and if you would care to join me, I'll do my best to impart my magical prowess onto you.
I can't tell if he's trying to teach you magic or pick you up.
You know, at this point, I don't know if the two are dissimilar.
Are you two talking about this?
I'm whispering.
And kind of, you're sitting on the other side of him, and you see this head kind of comes in between you. What's wrong with both?
Okay. I need stronger alcohol. I get up and it's like, I go see if I can track down some sort of server.
Go find Skull Splitter again. Yeah.
Just imagine basically if like Freddie Mercury and David Bowie had a love child, and he was a wizard.
Does he have a lightning bolt tattoo?
Would it be out of the question to see him just standing somewhere stark naked smoking a cigarette?
That would not be out of the question, no.
Are his eyes two different colors?
Naturally, you don't know, but probably.
Okay. I'm gonna go off with Freddie Bowie over here. I can do better than
Yet
that.
to did anyone ask his name?
No.
Cool.
Well, if we're gonna have lunch together,
Is this Fem? Did Fem follow us?
if we're gonna have lunch together, we should probably know each other's names.
Oh, that does make sense, doesn't it? I am Siandre the Magnificent.
You want to repeat that?
Siandre?
Siandre the Magnificent.
S-I-O-N-Dre?
Yeah, he and as the more you look at him, the more you can tell through the get up and whatnot. He is in fact a high elf,
Of course.
a very particular high elf.
This makes a little bit more sense now.
But
The Adventure Zone
S-I-O-N-Dre.
gets Jenkins.
However
if
you
we
wanna
get
spell it.
That's how I'm
Siandre.
spelling it.
However you want to spell it.
I'm Marshall.
Well, it's lovely to meet you, Marshall.
You're certainly something.
Oh, well, thank you. You're something yourself. And he winks at you. Now, let's have some lunch, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
And he orders an incredibly wide variety of different foods. Basically once without even really looking at whatever menu they had before turning to you.
Apple cider?
Well, I guess he'll just have an apple cider then.
I'm so offended.
I had a big lunch.
This particular
Breakfast.
This is lunch.
the particular server looks mildly overwhelmed, to put it lightly, as he kind of hurries off to put in this very particular and extravagant order.
With an apple cider.
With an apple cider. So yeah, if there's anything particular you want to ask him, we can go through this. If not, I'll just say general chit-chat.
Yeah. So do you have a familiar? Have you been entertaining long? Yeah, just kind of like regular old chit chat. Really and truly, I just want to ask him how long he's been practicing magic and stuff like that.
Well, it has been, I don't know. It's not polite to ask someone their years. But I'll tell you anyways. Probably around a century at least I've been working as a more individual you see me as now. To answer your other question, I do have a familiar, and he snaps his finger, and what could best be described as a Technicolor rave crab appears on the table in front of you.
I love it.
This is Babosa. He is a little mischievous devil as he kind of, you see the crab kind of like skitter around a little bit. And it just looks mischievous, but also incredibly flamboyant. Aggressively so, I would say.
Dag feels very pale right now. Dag feels like between next to this man, he's practically just in gray tone.
And that's pretty bad, you listeners, because Dag is red.
Dag is...
Or is he blue? No one will know.
No, that girl Hagen hooked up with was blue.
Oh, that's right. Dag is resplendent in his own right with all of his rings and piercings and his fucking Technicolor dream coat that he's been adding to for a lot of his life. But
And
it's
your crown.
and my crown, wow. But next to this man, he just feels like he's dressed in his dad's gray business suit.
It's really bad because you don't know who your parents are.
No, I do.
He does.
Oh, I thought you said you were an orphan.
That's what I said.
Oh my god.
Dag's a liar.
This fucking enigma of a player character.
His mind is an enigma. And now you're copyright.
I say a century. Wow, that's a while. Did you have any sort of formal study, or were you just born this way?
I mean,
I'm a
he's
wizard, not a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Marshall, I did have some tutelage, but they kicked me out.
Did you give him that name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Sorry.
No, you're good. They kicked you out for what?
For this! They were jealous, obviously.
They kicked you out because you put your hands up in the air?
Oh, you have so much to learn.
I really do.
Just to the tomb. Is this going okay?
Would you
I'm
like
still
to
waiting
join
on my
us?
lunch, but if you'd like to join us, more the merrier.
I don't see any reason why not. I pop a squat next between the two of them. I'm assuming it's a round table.
Actually, at a booth we can sit next to.
Oh well.
Make a decision. Make a decision.
Fuck, I've already forgot his name. I'm having a day, folks.
Ciandre.
I'm gonna sit next to Ciandre.
All right.
Bold
Hooray.
choice.
Thank you.
I've had like 4 glasses of wine. I probably had a bottle of wine at this point, so I just
A little rosy.
just saying fuck it.
It being Ciandre.
So aside from pronunciation, is there anything that I can work on in order to work on Find Familiar?
I would say that your hand motions were adequate, but
Your
it really
draconic
was
shit.
the, yes, as your friend put it, your draconic is quite bad.
Well, your Infernal sucks.
I never presumed to know Infernal.
I've never presumed to know Draconic.
I've at least
Ladies,
took
please, you're
force.
both beautiful in your own right.
Oh, I
To
know.
both of you.
I like flick my hands like, oh, I know it.
Now let's start with the basics, I suppose, Marshall. And he starts to walk you through. Really just, where Wes was the very concise and straightforward teacher,
This guy's anything but straight.
Ciandre is very extravagant and elaborate and over the top.
You don't say.
But he does give you pretty sound advice in the end. And you find that while at first it was a little hard to follow, you kind of eventually got to pick up on exactly what he was trying to really convey when he says certain things.
I've been watching him do this intently the entire time. How much am I picking up off of this?
Everybody wants to cast Find Familiar.
Yes, I want a familiar so bad.
I found a real familiar.
I can turn into animals.
I can be your familiar, Hagen.
You've me forever.
It's not the same.
I can't see through your eyes.
Cut to 3 sessions from now where it's the musical episode.
Oh god.
And just like Ciandre just kicks in a door and just walks on in, doing the solo.
I hope it's a lot better than the musical episode of Riverdale.
Yeah, give me an Arcana, but with advantage, and add your proficiency.
Got it.
Not you, him. You
Oh.
you just have. This is a straight roll.
Okay.
Ciandre's not trying to help you right now.
A one.
Advantage.
Shit.
Okay.
Oh, that's much better than the one.
Yeah. 20.
20.
Yeah.
I just needed to make sure anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
It doesn't matter.
you run through it, and the hand motions are going pretty good, pretty good. Only Ciandre's not teaching you a ritual version. He's teaching you the actual spell. And so, whereas opposed to Wes, where each go through was quite a process. Basically using different arcane focuses and other things to kind of make up for the actual lack of holy arcane energy he had available. You feel something weird every time you go through this version of it. Eventually, up until the point with maybe another hour in or so, you're going through and you kind of lose track of not necessarily what you're doing, but kind of where you are for a brief second. And in the little maybe 30 seconds or so that you go through this in a much slower pace than Ciandre, suddenly you finish and you realize that what you're seeing isn't really where you are in the booth anymore. if you could cast this spell, which familiar would you have?
I would have a raven.
A raven.
Yeah.
And you notice that as you finish this arcane debacle, if you will, your eyesight suddenly jumps to the left. And instead of looking straight at Siandre, you are now coming a little bit, maybe if you slid over a couple inches in the booth. And you look around, and you look to the left, and you see out the train car, and you look to the right, and you see yourself. Your eyes shining a faint blue color, that kind of, almost like a fog that kind of comes out and then rolls down a little before dispersing immediately as it comes down your face. And you see it.
I'm gonna kind of like try to nudge myself with my hand.
And so you don't really have much control over this whatever body you're in. So you go to move your hand, and you actually move your physical hand that you're looking at.
Okay.
And you can see Siandre kind of the corner of your vision just giggling to himself.
I'm gonna try to like fumble with my right hand up to my left shoulder.
Yeah, and then so as you do that, you feel feathers. And as you kind of look down, you see a feathery chest and all the way down to little legs sitting on your shoulder. And then as you blink, everything shifts back into focus, and now you are reaching over, and you see Siandre, and you look, and there's a little raven sitting on your shoulder.
Well, shit.
I'm assuming that it's a fiend.
Yes.
So it's got the tiniest little devil horns kind of popping out on its head. The smallest little bits. Not the crazy wild ones that you have as a tiefling, but
just little baby
just
ones.
little whoop horns that kind of come out. And its black feathers are, the light that shines off of it, the reflection, has a reddish hue. The feathers are very much black, but they kind of have a red iridescence to them. And then you can kind of see it look back. And the same things are kind of with its eyes. There's black eyes with a red sheen to them.
Just staring daggers at the ravens. Oh, I fucking hate you so much right now.
Why?
Is this jealousy?
Oh, it's straight jealousy.
Okay.
I'm so fucking jealous.
You could
Did I?
just ask.
Is this-
He's still there.
This isn't the crab, is it? This is.
Oh no.
Did I?
No, sweetheart. That's definitely not mine. It's yours. Well, I do like ravens. Oh, my boss, he's just such a lovely little crab. I couldn't possibly. And he snaps his fingers and he appears again on the table, dancing around a little bit.
Is he dancing to a crab
This
rave?
is adorable. Yeah,
It's like
basically a little crab rave going on the table.
It's like a little castanets.
Yeah. That's all you, baby.
Well, shit.
Well, shit!
Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna get up. I need a minute. I'm gonna. Excuse me. And I just like get up and I'm gonna go to the sleeper car.
All right. And you head back. At this point, then you have found the puppy restroom.
Yes.
You have returned from the puppy restroom.
Yes.
You have gotten back to the cabin.
Yes.
While all that transpired, all of Lumi's doctor bit came and
Yeah,
went.
I wouldn't have come in if the curtain was drawn, so I'm assuming.
It's like all of this stuff is happening at once.
Yes, that is how.
After you
Splitting the party.
returned, a couple hours later, Wes comes back from the diner car. At this point, it would probably be around 10 o'clock or so, equivalency. And then several hours after that, maybe another 2 or so, Dad comes back.
Hey, Dag.
No, I'm still hanging out with Siandre.
Hey, Dag, what's on your shoulder?
Raven, what's in your papoose?
I mean, it's Cobalt. You've seen him many times. The Raven is new.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Are you gonna be okay then?
I need it now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna like sit down in my bunk, lay down for a minute, and close my eyes. Can I try to see through my raven's eyes?
Yeah, so you kind of walk through mentally the steps of that whole casting process, and you finally arrive to the end, and when you get there, you open your eyes, and nothing really happens. So you do it again, and again, nothing really happens. You kind of look at your raven, and your raven looks back.
By the way, as soon as he seems dazed and goes to lay down, I immediately take Cobalt out and try to get him to lay with Dag, since I'm trying to teach him to be a therapy dog.
Give me animal handling.
Got a 0 in that. It is 19.
Yeah, Cobalt immediately looks at you, and you're you turn up and oh, shit, good boy.
Doesn't necessarily have to be right in the face, but
Oh, I know.
just cuddle him.
You.
Oh,
And-
I'm
and-
saying when he gets
I
over
know,
there.
I know, and you're petting him, and
Hello, little buddy.
and Dag sits down and kind of sits back, relaxes for a second, and starts to close his eyes. And he's just whispering in his ear. And Cobalt gives you a tiny little yip and hops down and scampers across the cabin and jumps up and kind of sits just above your knees on your legs and kind of looks at you. One ear lopsided, the other, obviously straight up, as small dogs do. With this big ass grin on his face and his little tongue's coming out. I'm like, hello.
Hi. How are you, Cobalt?
He's a little orc and snuggles up against your hand.
No. Okay.
He's probably just gonna like lay on you.
Yep, and he kind of curls up into a little puppy puddle on your lap there. Sits contently.
Now back to your
I'm
raven
trapped here.
talking to you.
This is how I die.
What voice do you imagine, as Isaac, what voice do you imagine this raven to have?
Most obnoxious Australian accent
Like a
ever.
dark whisper.
Marge Simpson.
Can't do a Marge.
No. You
Don't
you
want
feel it
nearly
out.
enough
Gotcha.
Simpsons to
Can
know
you do
my-
one of the comedic relief pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Give me your best goth voice. Give me your best Gerard Way impersonation.
That's a no for me, dog.
I mean, those are two entirely
You just start
separate
hearing
spheres.
blood singing in your head.
Tell me
Not-
more about how when
not
he was a young boy.
Gallons of this stuff.
I love that song so much.
You just kind of, as you kind of try to feel out and, I wouldn't say gain control, but in essence, force your personality into this other entity. And you open your eyes, you see this raven kind of cock its head at you, and you hear a voice in your head, "Oi, prick! Fuck are you doing?
Hi?
That's all you got?"
Well, this is all kind of new to me. I figured that you just being willed into existence not an hour ago would make you a little bit more agreeable.
And you think that if someone pulled you from somewhere else and just slap bang you in some unholy box, that you would be agreeable?
I didn't really know what was going on. I just wanted a bird of my own to annoy the shit out of Wes and to fuck up his hawk.
Well, I guess if we're both a little bit I wouldn't say unhappy in our current situations, but well, why exactly am I here then?
You're here to help me, I suppose.
Now, are you talking in your head or out loud?
I like to think out loud. I like to think that, Cobalt's, perked up after I say, hi.
I'm here. Who are you talking to?
Yeah,
Well, both Lumi and Denter.
I'm just looking at you like.
Do you have a preferred name, or should I give you one?
Well, honestly, it's, I can't quite remember anything past an hour ago.
So you're gonna
Wonder
need.
why.
I'm gonna need something to refer to you by. How does Corvus sound?
Well, to be quite frank, I don't have much of a choice, do I?
I mean, you obviously have opinions.
And you notice that kind of as the conversation goes back and forth, that your mindset on ideology on different opinions are pretty similar. Almost like this creature was pulled from your mind. And so
Wow, you also like apples? I love apples.
and you find that that a lot of their opinions kind of shadow your own, I wouldn't say darker, but a lot of your subconscious thoughts.
Oh no.
Oh,
You say
no.
Corvus, right?
Corvus.
Corvus is very blunt.
Okay.
He kind of basically, anytime you say something, he will chime in. Like, anytime you say something to someone else, he will chime in with almost more or less exactly what you're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and not exactly what you're saying.
Oh no.
Now, ravens can, they have a thing called mimicry.
Mhm.
Can he just be like, yeah, so then I got some corn. Corn!
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Great.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, if that's kind of what Dag would, in an essence, want to happen,
More or less.
then, in my opinion, the familiar pulled from a little bit of the being of another creature, but also your personality and your consciousness would echo, in a sense, what you kind of want.
Literally,
It's what makes them very agreeable
Mhm.
towards their magical magic.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of talking with Corvus, blaring in my head. And I'm like, alright, here's what I need you to do. I need you to just kind of get a lay of the land, just kind of fly up and down the carts, see if there's anything interesting going on. I know that there's a dining car about 6 carts that way, but I don't know what's at the end of either end of the train.
Well, I can tell you what's in the back of it. Stable.
Again,
Dent chimes in as you're talking out loud.
Yeah, because you're still talking out loud.
Oh, are there stables?
Yeah, man.
Did you see anything else?
There's horses here.
Horses?
Yeah. We definitely could have brought our mule, but we didn't.
Barry.
That's okay. Boz has them. But yeah, just kind of fly around, get a lay of the land.
Barry Magnum will become Barry Bond.
Ba-da, ba-da,
No, because he's made into glue.
Oh. Boss would never.
Unless he absolutely had to.
You don't know?
Unless he sawed a boat in half and needed something to patch it up with.
I sawed this boat in half to demonstrate the power of berry bond, the finest glue in all of donkeydom.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Damn.
The end.